All right, I kind of feel like I should be getting my running shoes on after that interview with Jack and Charlotte. But speaking of running, I am here with Norwood's newest selectman, and Matt Lane. I can't believe it was only 2 months ago that you and I were standing in front of the darkened town hall, and you had just won the election as
Right.
selectman in topping the ticket, I might add.
Yeah, it's funny. It seems like a lot longer than 2 months ago. I think I was saying that summer usually feels like it goes by pretty fast, and this has been a strange summer. So, yeah, but I'm glad to be on board.
Well, super. So what? Let's talk about what it's been like these last couple of months, and also was it what you expected? What were some of the surprises? And talk to us a little bit about your experience.
Sure, great. It's been great. It's what I expected in that I had been watching meetings and attending meetings, but it's you don't really know what it's like until you're in there. There's been we had the flood, which was crazy, and so just being looped into everything that was going on and how we responded, and how well the first responders and the fire department and the DPW did, but also being part of the group that was able to go into people's homes who'd been affected by the flood and document the damage, and hopefully we have funds available to offset some of the costs that they'd incurred. I certainly didn't expect that to be something that I would be doing within the first month of being on the board, but it was a really good experience, and these are our constituents, these are our townspeople, and to be able to talk to them and hear them, and it was really special, and I'm glad we'll be able to help out families. So it's, yeah, we haven't been in the same room together yet as a board, which is kind of funny. I'm hoping that at some point we can do that soon when it's safe. But everyone's been great, and I've been able to have really good conversations, not only with the other members of the board, but people in town as well.
So just so people are aware, one of the things that happens is you're put on different committees as a selectman. So what committees are you involved in?
So Chairman Plasko put me on the Community Preservation Committee, which is great. We actually have a meeting in a few minutes that I'll run off to. That's great because there are a lot of projects that are in the queue, and being brought on board and seeing where those are at, and also talking about the future and sort of what's on the horizon. Really great people on that committee, and also I've been asked to be on the study for the pool feasibility, and that's been neat because I think the pool, specifically Hawes, is open this summer, and I think the rec department's done a great job considering the circumstances, keeping it open. My family goes almost every day, and it's been great. It's very safe, and they do an excellent job. So I'm happy to be a part of that group. I think we're going to meet next week and talk about the future there too. So yeah, and I'm sure other things will pop up. I'm still on the Capital Outlay Committee, and a lot of the things that we had planned to do in March were postponed. And so when we meet again, we'll have a better idea of what we can do, what we can accomplish. But that's been a committee I've been on for a few years, and it's really nice to see things like the new fire engine and things that we put through. So yeah, it's great. It's been very good.
So, you mentioned capital outlay and having to put some things aside. I know everybody's kind of thinking of the financial condition of the town, and of course the selectmen are very much involved in that. How are you feeling about things? Are you hearing anything about state aid and funding?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay, because I think that's all you can be at this point. I think that Mr. Mizuko made some really smart decisions early on to try to free up some space in the budget so that we can address some of these potential shortfalls. I'm really nervous about maybe what the next fiscal year will look like in terms of state aid, and but there's just a lot of unknowns at this point. I think the health department has done such a great job in keeping people safe and giving really good guidance. And I think some of the things that we've done as a town, as a community, with Washington Street and having the outdoor seating and things like that, and right here, it's a great shot that you guys have here. But that's been really helpful and really important, not only to keep the economy going, but also just for people and for their morale and their well-being. So I'm hopeful. And we'll see. But it's just a tough situation, I think, for everybody.
And so what's coming up? So we're downtown. So we're in the beautiful area, of course, where I want to call it Tony Town, but
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's the wonderful Summer on Central. We heard a little bit about the parklets, and I know that Mr. Mizuko has kind of put a little something forward that we've gotten some grants for little parklets. Has that anything you guys have addressed yet, or?
We haven't talked about it too much as a group. These sort of pocket parks. Is that what you're talking? Yeah. I think that was something the board discussed maybe in March or February, but I think that's great too. I think any green space that we can really cultivate in town and bring people into is great. There's a lot of concrete in Norwood, and I think the more green we have, the better.
Super. So I'm just going to say, to wrap this up, so how is your family feeling about getting to watch you on TV? We can't help to notice that you actually do the selectmen's meeting from the FinCom room.
Right.
Everything going okay there?
Everything's going okay. I think mostly I use it as a preventative measure because, by the end of the day, my kids may or may not be in certain moods, and I think where I usually do my work now is in the basement, and so it might be a little unprofessional to have some banging or crying or screaming at the end of the day. But yeah, the family's doing well. Like I said, there are a lot of options for families in Norwood, which is great. And so we've done a lot of things locally, a lot of hikes, which has been great. The Trails Committee, all the work that they did really it's paid off for people like my family because we've been able to utilize the maps and the different routes that they built. But yeah, everyone's good, hanging in there, a little nervous about school, as everyone with kids is probably in the same boat. I think we have a great school department, great school committee, the teachers, the administrators, and so I think we'll make the right decision, and hopefully, things improve. Trying to be optimistic.
That's the only way to be. Well,
Agreed.
Thank you, my friend. It has... let's not wait another 2 months to talk.
Whenever, please.
And again, thank you for Matt Lane, fabulous new addition to the Board of Selectmen.
Thank you, Gerri.